Welcome back. This is a video on how to get your hair black without using any chemical dyes or natural products. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and please leave comments and like this video if you find it useful. So let's jump into it. To start off with, you're going to use henna, half a lemon and about half a cup of black coffee. You're going to mix the ingredients to form a paste, and you're going to keep on adding the black coffee until you get a consistency like yogurt. I use a metal whisk because I don't like lumps in there. I think it's the easiest way to get them out. Some people say you're not supposed to use metal, but it's only for a short period of time and I've never noticed any adverse effects. I tend to do this in the morning before I leave for work, and I leave this throughout the day with some cling film over the top so that the henna can release dye. If you don't leave it at least 12 hours, I don't think you get good dye release. Dye release is how much colour the henna will deposit, so it soaks and the dye will release. To apply this to your hair, you're going to use some clips, cling film and some gloves. Make sure you use gloves. As you can see, my roots are very grey. I have a lot of grey. I've been going grey since I was in my teens, so as you can imagine at this age it's quite advanced. The aim of the game is to mainly apply the henna to the roots and try and get it as close to the scalp as possible, but I put it on my scalp. Again, it's natural, so I've never noticed any adverse effects. So making sure that I have the gloves on my hand, and also make sure you protect your clothes with a towel, because if the henna gets onto your clothes, it's going to stain, or just wear something dark that you don't care about staining too much. And as you can see, my hair's already in plaits. That's because my hair is freshly washed. You do want to do this on wet hair. Then I just apply the henna to my roots initially, much like you would a deep conditioner if you were to apply it to your roots, but you really want to make sure you get it right down in your roots and part each section so that you don't miss any grey. And section by section, as you can see, I unravel the plaits, I apply the henna, smoothing it from the roots to the ends, and then I retwist it. And I'm going to keep these twists in throughout the entire two-step process for henna and indigo. It just makes everything easier. Henna does make your hair dry, so keeping it in sections I find helps to minimize the tangles. So I'm just going from section to section and repeating the same process. As you can see, I'm parting each section into smaller subsections to make sure that I can get the henna into all parts of my hair. And I just carry on doing that until I complete my entire head. The process of first colouring your hair with henna and then following it up with indigo is often described by people as the two-step process, because the first step is the henna, which deposits a red colour on your grey hair, which you'll see soon, and the second step, which is indigo, and that deposits a blue colour on your hair. So you have to first apply the henna before you can use indigo, because it's the combination of the two colours that results in that very dark brown to black colour. So as I mentioned, that's called the two-step process. There is another way where you can do it together, so you can mix both the henna and the indigo together, but the results won't be as dark. So because I need to cover grey, I do the two-step, which I find the most effective. Both dyes are natural and they're from plants and there are no chemicals, so it's completely safe if you're like me and you have very strong dye allergies. So I'm hoping that you will find this useful. So as you can see, I have completely finished my hair with henna now, and I'm just going to cover it up with cling film. I find that the easiest thing to use. It's quite secure and avoids leakage, because you will find that the henna can sometimes leak and start running down your neck, and it's a bit uncomfortable. So you want to tie the cling film on your hair as tightly as possible without it being uncomfortable, and then you're going to leave that on your hair for as long as possible. I'd say no more than overnight or 12 hours, but a minimum of 4 hours, I think, really, in order to cover the grey. If you haven't got grey, you're just trying to darken your hair, then you probably don't need to leave it as long. I'm putting a cap on my hair just because I want to try and retain some heat, and I think personally it helps the dye to release even better, and for the colour of the herbal dye to soak into my hair even better. I leave this on this occasion for about 12 hours. I leave it on throughout the day. I go about my business. I think I'm doing some house chores. I'm saying 4 hours as a minimum, but I actually left it on for much longer. And I've washed it out now. So as you can see, it makes your grey hair bright orange, like a reddy, orangey, brassy colour. If you like this, you can stop here. You don't need to go any further. But for me personally, I prefer it to be black. I don't like that colour. So I'm going to go ahead and move to step 2 in the 2-step process, which is to mix the indigo powder. So here we go. You will need a glass bowl, the indigo powder, and I will link below where I buy mine from. This is not like, you know, a sponsored video. I pay for these products and I use it because I find that it's the best. Both the henna and the indigo come from the same company, and they give you some handy instructions, and I always like the fact that they tell you like when the indigo and the henna was like produced, when it was batched up and put in the bag, so I know it's fresh. So indigo is slightly different. It's a more green powder. This is the powder that when you add water to it, it actually looks like a really dark green, almost blue. You need to add some salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt, but it really doesn't matter. Use what you want, and add it to some warm water. I use about a tablespoon, and I mix. Then that water is going to be added to the indigo. The reason why I add salt is because it helps it to stick to your hair, and it's for mainly for stubborn hair, so hair color that's hard to absorb the dye. My hair is really stubborn, so I add it in just to help the indigo color to deposit on my hair. And then, as I did with the henna, I just add small amounts of the liquid and mix until I get a consistency which I'm happy with. And I'm quite experienced, but to try and explain it to you, the consistency is like thick yogurt, and I'll just mix that up. So indigo is a bit different in that you don't need to leave it to soak. You don't need the dye to release. It releases straight away. So as soon as you finish mixing that up, you can put that straight on your hair. If you leave it for hours like you do with the henna, it won't have as much effect. So you want to be using that straight away. So that's ready now. So I'm not going to repeat the process or show you the process of applying it, because it's the same as I did for the henna. I apply it in sections, retwisting each section and making sure I get it down into the roots. But I did want to show you how different the colour is, because it's much darker. It almost looks black already. It's a very, very dark green. But that second colour application really does make a difference, and you'll see at the end how much darker my hair is. I tie my hair up, I cover it in cling film as I did before, tie my hair up in a headscarf and go about my business. So this is after about 4 hours, because you don't need to leave it on as long as you do the henna. The indigo has a much quicker process. So after about 4 hours, this is what my hair looks like. I make sure that I cover my roots at the front really, really carefully. So I kind of overextend just beyond my hairline with both the henna and the indigo, because I have some really fine grey hairs there. So I'm just checking to see if it looks like the colour's deposited, and I'm just running my finger along and pressing to see if I can see what my hair colour looks like. And based on that test, I'm pretty satisfied that the colour has taken to my hair. So I'm ready to go ahead and just rinse this out now. I'm just going to rinse it with water to start off with. I'm just going to show you how it looks after the rinse, and as you can see, it's such a big difference. All of that orange brassy colour has pretty much gone. So my hair's not jet black in all places, but I think you'd probably agree that's a pretty good result. Some of it is a bit lighter in places. I have a lot of grey, as I showed you earlier, so I don't really mind too much how it looks. This is probably as dark as I'm going to get it, and I'm happy because it's way darker than it was before. I go ahead and now deep condition in the usual way, and I keep my hair in sections, again applying the deep conditioner just because it's easier. And I'm going to show you what it looks like after I rinse out the deep conditioner. So my hair's still pretty black. I haven't lost a lot of colour, so it just goes to demonstrate that the process I went through was really good. The hair has taken to the colour very nicely, and I'm ready to just go ahead and style now. But overnight I let my hair air dry. I use the banding method to stretch my hair, and coming up is what it looks like the next day, so you can see what it looks like dry. So this is the result. Look at the comparison. What a difference. What a difference. It does take a long time. It's about a day really, but I'm really pleased. I can't use chemical dye because I'm allergic, so I'm really pleased with this. I hope you found this useful. Please like the video, and thanks for watching.